So we have reacted to everything we have seen in this opening hour in our doubleheader of Game 4 action in the NBA postseason. But that's not how the night around the association got started. The NBA draft lottery in Chicago. We presented the chances and the likelihoods for the teams that finished with terrible records in the 2024-25 regular season and their outlook in the Cooper Flagg sweepstakes to land that first overall pick in the generational superstar out of Duke. What we did not expect is to show you this at the very start of the draft order. Who's selecting number one? The Dallas Mavericks, with a 1.8% chance from the betting odds, 39-1 plus 3,900. The Dallas Mavericks, somehow, some way, wink, wink, earn that first overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft in late June. And Cooper Flagg, you are a Dallas Maverick.
Yeah, the Mavericks, man, all of a sudden looking up on the timeline when they were so down and all those fans that were asked to come back and take a discount from season tickets for the next season, I bet they're scrambling to find those emails to reply back. Oh, never got this email. Sorry about that. Sure, I'll take 50% off my season tickets next year and re-up after I told you to blankety blank in the previous email. Hope that didn't find the sender going through at that point. But understand this. If we can put those odds back up there again, or at least the draft order themselves, here's what I keep. Look, the Mavericks, 39-43. Make that team better. It's better for the NBA. Look at the Spurs. Have one of the most exciting, young, talented teams right now. Give them a great draft pick. That's better for the NBA. The Sixers in a major market with Joel Embiid and Paul George and Tyrese Maxey, now going to get a really good player. Make them better. The Hornets are a complete waste of time throughout NBA history. The Jazz, outside of the Stockton years, which anybody right now watching this show probably barely remembers, they are a complete waste of time. Don't help them out. Then you take a look at the Wizards, the most irrelevant franchise in the history of professional sports in the United States. Glad they didn't get it. And then the Pelicans, also an utter complete waste of time in NBA landscape. So the top three teams, which people will be excited to watch next year, got better, which is what the NBA needed. The waste of space teams didn't get help, which again is exactly what the NBA needed.
And so Donnie is more the conspiracy theorist between the two hosts here on the early line. I often balk at the idea that anything could be hashtag rigged or manufactured by the NBA, by its commissioner, Adam Silver, or the league office. But I actually do believe in fans having to question what exactly we saw. Part of that is because of how the draft lottery plays out. We talked about it yesterday. Honesty and transparency, often a fantastic thing. So the NHL draft lottery, they do the selecting of the ping pong balls, trying to bounce in the favor of a franchise live on air. Not only do I think that's fantastic and exciting television, it also goes to show that, hey, things can be quirky and weird, but there is honesty. It's not just a couple of sparse media members and executives in a back room somewhere in Chicago. It is right in front of the public's eyes. So it does not allow us to question what is happening. Conspiracy or not, DRS, I think it is very fair to point at the updated draft lottery system and say, what are we doing here? Because to Donnie's point, it rewards teams that might be a franchise player away from winning an NBA championship. It rewards executives who make the dumbest trade in NBA history and then get to celebrate just about 2.5 months later. It does not reward franchises that are starved for success. That you can watch a Utah Jazz team put out a cast of who's who and win 17 games and should have a generational superstar in reward for it, to only draft 5th? What is that? DRS, I think for the 4th consecutive year, or maybe 5th consecutive year now, the team with the worst record in the regular season in the NBA will be drafting 5th overall. Not even 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, 5th overall. Look at the records for the Hornets, the Jazz, and the Wizards, and they're not even top 3.
Yeah, good. Go out, spend some money, get some actual talent. Hire general managers, not just say, hey, we got Michael Jordan as our owner. Yeah, good luck with that. How'd that work out for the past 20 years? Like, actually add some real basketball talent to your roster and real talent evaluators, and maybe you're not bitching about sitting there saying, we didn't get the top pick. How about you win some more basketball games by drafting good basketball players, by going out on the free agent market and getting better players in that respect? It's not a surprise. Like, look at the teams that we get upset about that missed out, right? They are historically horrendous, meaningless franchises. Who cares about them?
Right, but if we were ever trying to change the fact that they're historically irrelevant and horrible, you give them a generational talent, and maybe they become a part of the NBA conversation for their fan bases trying to buy in. 3 consecutive years, the teams with the worst record in the NBA in the regular season drafts 5th overall. This year, it's the Utah Jazz. Since the NBA draft lottery updated, the teams that finished with the 3 worst records all an equal shot at 14%. Since 2019, never have any of those 3 teams drafted, or the teams with the worst record in that model, drafted 1st overall. It is insane. I would just also argue, DRS, just to play devil's advocate to what you are presenting. Yes. The Philadelphia 76ers had a disastrous year where the front office spent on a terrible deal for Paul George, who is the only healthy guy in large part, and he was awful. Joel Embiid gets injured. He's never a part of the conversation. And they get rewarded. Despite trying to spend and be good, they didn't get the benefit of making those deals. The Dallas Mavericks made arguably the worst trade in NBA history, and Nico Harrison now gets to celebrate. That's where it gets crazy. Not for the fan bases. They deserve it. And Dallas's fan base certainly deserves Cooper Flagg. But I think it's just crazy that these teams are rewarded for making awful deals, missing out on sky-high expectations, and for the Mavericks finishing a win or 2 away from making the playoffs, and now they draft 1st overall.
No, but they're also bigger market teams with superstar players. Like, if you throw Cooper Flagg to Utah, it's like, that's never going to work. In 5 years, he'll be looking for a way out to try to get to Miami at this point. At least reward the teams that you figure next year can actually get a leap up and provide instant access to television and fun ratings here. Nobody wants to see Cooper Flagg wallow in Utah. Thank good he's not going to do that.
It'd kind of be fun to see him out there in Salt Lake. Would be an immediate fan favorite.